Hello, beautiful people. We are back with another episode of Hunnie. It's yours. As you can see, there's a lot of us. A lot of us tonight. But you know, your Hunnies are here, and then we have some little extras. So they're gonna go around from my left to right, and say your names. And you know, you could give a 2-second thing about you.
Who you are.
Feel free to, drop any drops that y'all want to drop and all of that.
But
stuff.
not too much.
A 2 second.
So I can plug it in just a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah. Shameless, but
shameless plug.
Like 2-second charge,
Facts.
back up. Okay, respect. So my name is Malachi. If you want to look me up on IG, that's Malachi the Poet. There's a period in between each of those words. I'm a poet. I'm a writer. I am a black man that's just living my experience, and the best thing that I can do, right, is share that love and share that beauty with everybody around me. So if I want to plug it in a little bit more, I got a website, growingpage.online. Come check me out. Listen, we under construction, but we still building.
We're gonna give you all the info.
We're gonna be there.
Down below.
It's your girl, just Ashley. Always been here. Next.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm Dre. Man.
It's been a while since last time.
Yes, I'm back. But I'm Dre. That's really, I don't have no more.
Dre with a broken
And
shoulder.
if you have not seen Dre before, you need to go back and watch our mid-season live from season 1. So stop, go back, watch it, and then come back right now.
Well, wait.
Is it this way? Wait, it's crazy.
It doesn't matter. You can choose whatever side.
Right.
Actually,
It's no way.
I don't know.
Click that link.
I'll do it. She don't know how to do it. I'll plug it.
I know it goes in one of those corners. Y'all will see
I
it.
mean,
Hey, I'm Rianne.
Hi, I'm David.
You don't want to introduce yourself. You have to say
Oh,
more.
hi, I'm David Catino.
Oh, sorry.
I be singing and dancing. Follow me on Instagram. That's David Catino because I'm David.
He's not even lying. He's singing and dancing.
And as always, I'm Sarah.
And I didn't say I was Danae, but y'all know who I am. So yeah.
And today we have all these beautiful black men here to talk about a topic, I feel really dear to my heart because as a black woman, I care about, black men. But as you guys always know, I always say men and women are trash. However, we are here to spread the love. So we're going to talk about some of the trash things and then some of the things that how we can spread more love to our black. Why you say? Look at that.
This is a setup. I just want everybody to know we are set up. They put me on a
God.
platform to trash women.
The theatrics.
No.
And they want me to give out my Instagram.
The theatrics.
No, I'm just saying, it's just being real and authentic as a black man, okay? So if anybody wants to start up with a question, go ahead. Hunnies.
So right now, y'all are how old? Let's figure it out.
23, about to be 24.
All right.
24.
Okay.
24.
All right. So we're all around this. I'm the baby of the group. Let's just.
Youngin.
Oh, one more thing. Are y'all single?
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is a setup.
All right. So we got.
Wait, what did you say?
He said yes.
Okay.
Okay. So currently,
Don't
right now,
watch it.
in your phases of life,
Right.
assess your mental health for me.
Oh.
How are we doing today? At a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is being amazing, 1 is being I need help.
Help
Like-
me.
I feel like 1 is too low for I need help. Like 4 got to be I need help.
That's actually a
Low-key.
very amazing point, right? Because why we started.
Starting to me, I guess the 1 is means you real down, I'm saying from 1 to 10. 1 is like you down bad.
Down
like you
bad.
passed and need help.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying.
I mean,
And 10 is being like, I'm amazing.
Okay, well, I've been putting in some work on myself. I've been a lot of reflecting, a lot of thoughts. I would say I'm at like 7.5, 8 right now. A little stressed out, but that's because, there's always stuff that's stressing me out.
Life.
to be realistic, I'm like 6.5, like 7. I just recently got hurt. I'm a very active person, play ball, work with kids, so it kind of like hinders like my progress. And like kind of like a mental way though, like I'm not like hurt that I'm, can't move, but things I want to be doing and how fast is like, I gotta wait, heal up, so it's gonna get better.
It's a humbling time, is what you're saying.
Facts.
I feel you, black man. I feel you. I'm about a 9 to 10. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yo,
I really
that's
do.
great.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a new year. I feel like this is an important year for me. So like I have very high hopes for this new year. I mean, not to be one of those people that, you know, New Year's new me, nothing like that. But, you know, it's a time for we needed a restart. It was getting dark at the end of 2022. Like,
for real.
I need some type of sunshine.
So wait, I have a question then. Is
dark,
a
like
10
4:30.
is that like your goal for right now?
No.
Like actually,
I'm pretty much, I'm there right now. This is peak, like, mental health day.
So like it couldn't get better than this.
If I had therapy after this, that would be, because therapy's fun. So, you know, that's it. But he went on vacation for 2 weeks. So.
That's always good.
So
So David David touched up on a point that last year was extremely rough for a lot of people. And I know we lost a lot of black men left and right. We lost PNB, we lost Takeoff. We just recently lost Twitch to suicide. So I want to ask you guys, and I know we talked about these kinds of questions to ask you guys, like, how do I word this? How does that make you feel? What goes through your head when you see things like this? And how do you get yourself out of the funk?
I feel like, especially with us, especially like at our age and our generation, we scroll past things very quickly. We might even double tap it and not even really understand what we saw or read. So it's like a matter of like all these people that like, obviously we don't know them. We weren't even in the same room.
Right.
But it's like we built that type of connection through their art.
Right.
Everybody was an artist in their own way. You know, like not just through music, through basketball, through dancing. It's just them themselves were like an artist. So it's just a matter of like, dang, we lost another one. And it's like we like in a losing battle. But it's like when are both parties gonna like really like lock in and really like say, all right, we need help. We need to help others. You know, we need to, be more out there for people. So that's really what I think about, especially seeing a lot of these deaths.
When you say both parties, what do you mean by that?
I mean both parties as like men themselves and everybody else.
Around them, okay.
Everybody around them, like man, woman, like no matter the relationship, we gotta keep helping each other.
Like that sense of community. Got you.
I like that. I think for me personally, what's been going through my mind is it's like the largest part of it is that I'm kind of saddened by how desensitized I'm coming to it. I'm becoming to just this entire, it seems like it's cyclical, right? Like every other week we're learning about something. I'm like, damn, for real? I'm like, well, like I gotta, and the part for me that really, I think, sits on my mind is like, what about all those people that's around them, right?
Exactly.
All those people that's struggling, that is already, maybe their mental health was already in a place where it didn't have much like foundation to it, and then you add something like this to the mix, and we know a lot of these people, we know like our community's relationship to like drugs, alcohol, and things of that nature, and I know when stuff like this happens, that's when people fall even deeper into it. So then I know that the cycle of hurt just continues to keep spinning and spinning, and that's what's on my mind more than anything. It's like when I hear about the person who passed, like for Takeoff, for example, right? I'm like, yo, that's terrible, and the only thing I'm sitting there thinking is like, yeah, how do the other two feel? How they family feel? How everybody with them? How are they doing? Right? Like, and I know like there's no way that's easy, and that's what's on my mind. And I'm just like, what do you do next? You know?
No, I have nothing to say.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off
No, you're good.
because I want you guys' voice to be heard, and you guys have the open space and safe space to express how you guys feel about the moment. Because I can never be a black man and know how you guys feel in a situation where you guys are seeing people that look like you constantly dying and like, or constantly falling into the cycles that you were saying. So where was I going with this?
Nah, but sorry, like to add on to like what you were saying and also add to what he was saying, it's like I have like become like numb to these type of like newses, where it's like even if people like in my community, so like even if we take it from like a point of not really seeing like celebrities, like if I'm so like, wow, another celebrity died, another black male celebrity just passed away, so imagine it's like another black male from my community that I seen before he was into like that, into that type of life, or I seen him walking the other day, or it's like he wasn't even in those type of things, but he still got caught up in, so it's like it's such a common thing that it's just like getting numb is like not going in like the right direction. That shouldn't be something that I'm used to.
Yeah. And that numbness is, I feel like for me, it's scary because it's like, when are we gonna wake up out of the numbness to actually like do something about it? But also at the same time, I feel like we have become numb to it because of how much it's been sensationalized, if that's the right word. Like everything's on like Instagram. You can
Twitter.
just quickly see what happened. Like you don't even have a chance to read the news, hear the news from somebody else. You just already see the videos, the comments, and it's like people are finding out that their family members are dying off the internet before they even get a phone call. And like it's not even like a what's called a still image of, hey, this person, like the name of the person has died, but you see the actual video of it,
everything.
And it's kind of like, damn, like there's no sense of
mourning.
Not even that. Like, where's your heart?
Right.
So do
like,
you
where's
feel
the
like
respect for the person that's dying?
So you feel like stuff like that needs to be censored? Sorry.
No, but for sure, I feel like we should not be. If you don't see death every day, you're not gonna become so numb to it, because if you see every day,
it'll surprise you when you see it. Like when you see things so regularly, you get like normalized to seeing it. That's part of your regular routine. It becomes normal to you. But like when we censor these things, you're not used to seeing it. So when you see it, you're impacted by it. You're like moved by it.
And you actually feel the emotion of it, because I feel like some people don't. Like they just look at the screen like, okay, scroll next. Like
and then the next
feel
video
the sadness.
It's a TikTok dance right after that. Like you're completely. It's like, damn, that's crazy, and you just keep going, and life goes on.
Right.
It's like you don't even take a second.
And then Ree even said like, no time for mourning. You have no time to like feel your emotions, understand what the hell just happened, and like go through the actual stages of grieving and understanding what just happened, whether they're famous or not. Like I feel like you could still be upset if somebody famous passed away, because those people do have impact in our lives. Those people made it. So like it's like a harsh thing that we're all going through now, but we're also like stuck in a place where we're not changing how we are.
Right.
We keep talking about it and not doing anything about it.
Right.
So like, sorry, I keep interrogating you guys, but like genuinely, what do you think is a step forward? Like, what is the action?
Like for like the community or the tribe, like what can people around you or within yourself do?
People in general. Then I'm gonna ask what next. Right.
So the first question is just people in general, right?
Right.
All right. So I'll go with a personal anecdote. I don't know if y'all remember, there was like this whole wild thing that happened. Like a person that got shot at the train station in Far Rockaway where I live. It was on Mott. And when the event actually went down, my younger brother was on the train cart that all the craziness was happening. He wasn't involved in it, but he was like there, right? So then he comes home and he's just like sitting down. We get the news like, oh, the person that was on the train got shot or whatever. He's just sitting there like, that's crazy. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, why he not flipping out? Like, why he not losing it? Why he not? And then I sat down, I'm having a conversation with him and I'm just learning about how he's like, bro, this ain't nothing crazy, bro. Like, this is just one of many things that I've seen and experienced on the train. And I'm sitting there like, how do I, because I'm like, that's not normal. So like, I had to like explain to him how like, yo, you're becoming desensitized because of the amount of things that you're being exposed to. And a lot of this is not his fault. So when you're asking about how does the community around each other like think about that, it was, for me, I feel like in that instance, it was being that person that's going to sit there and talk to you and pry those feelings out. Because a lot of the times it's been conditioned in me for I'm 23, all 23 years for the most part, is like whatever strong emotions or feelings that I have, if it's going to get in the way of what I got to do, it's not worth it. So when I'm speaking with him and I see those embers of the same thing coming about, I'm like, hold up, bro, we ain't even going to do that right now. Let's sit down. I don't even know what you was about to do. Let's sit down and talk about it. Like, what's going on? Let's really get to the meat and the potatoes. And then I'm finding that in those conversations, he's starting to process and think about things. So then when he's talking to his friends, and even the pieces of I'm spitting game, they might be listening or whatever. I'm just thinking like, we got to get the conversation going. That's the first step. Like, that's how we at least get to speaking on it. You know what I'm saying?
So when I hear you say that, I don't disagree with you. I guess for me as a black woman, though, not that it's not my place, but I feel like black men may be more receptive to having that conversation with another black man.
Oh, for sure.
Versus like with their female counterpart, just because of that same concept of not being vulnerable and emotional with others. Like, of course I have some of my male friends that I can do that with, and I pray that when I find my partner that we can sit and have those conversations, but I also understand the history and the ideology behind being that vulnerable, sensitive, broken man in front of their woman. So like I guess for me, where do I fit into that as a woman? Because I can encourage you to have that conversation with your bro, but I feel like in that specific sense, there's not much. I still feel helpless in that because I don't. Of course, I'll try, but I don't see my friend. Let's not even go to man yet because my husband, he better. But like my friend, like being able to like always being that open and emotional and vulnerable with me to even sit down with, to even entertain that conversation beyond. I just want you to support me.
I mean,
as I go through what I go through.
I think to answer that question is like from a real like raw perspective. Sometimes, and I don't think of it as like, you know, every woman, and then it's like sometimes you saying the part is like, where do I come in? Sometimes your help is not always needed in that aspect. Like sometimes, like I understand you want your husband, like he better be the one to open up, like he better open up to you. So if he is able to show his emotion and show his like care for something, show his anger to something in different ways that you might not even want, it's still him expressing himself, but it's a matter of you also get that feeling of like, oh, I want to be, you know, needed by this person. So it's like, not you specifically, but one thing I've learned about like people like also trying to get to know me, sometimes it's more of a, like a, oh, I really just want to know your story, and not really a matter of like, how can I make this a little better? It's more of like, yo, getting to know me because I don't really speak on me. And then it's like getting to know me because like, yo, you care enough that it's like, yo, whatever the roadblock is that's in front of you that's stopping you, how can I help and get you past it? So it's like, sometimes I feel like you just have to help where it's sometimes asked for. Like some women that I've heard, like by like other experiences, I've heard that it's like, oh, they like go above and beyond, ask their partner questions, you know, like really want to get to know them. I'm like, I feel like you just got to go with his flow of that. So it's like, if he's not doing it at all, then you can, you know, put a little like pressure into it. But it's just the emphasis of like being who you are, because the same way that you are with your friends is not the same. That's what, you know, sometimes I hate the topic like, oh, you always want to be with your friends. It's less responsibility of being with my friend than being with my partner. It's like different type of feelings, different type of emotions. So it's like being needed in a sense of, oh, you got to open up to me. What if I'm able to open up to him and he might be able to explain it to you better than I can? Because, you know, he might not be there, might not be at that point to be vulnerable with you yet. It's just different aspects of like showing that you care and not making it about, oh, you need to open up to me.
Right, it's not about me, it's about you.
Yeah.
I was just about
it's not
to
about
say.
me being there for you, it's about you feeling like you have a space to be there.
To be yourself.
Me opening up, period.
Right.
That's the goal.
Yes.
It's not opening up to you. It's opening up, period.
I think sometimes like we forget that even though we do want to be there for you guys and we do want to be supportive, we sometimes fall into the trap of making it about ourselves and forgetting the fact that we have, like, you guys are the priority in the picture. Right. But I don't know if Danae was like saying that it would be about like just her.
No, that's what I was saying. Like I wasn't saying it to like what you were saying.
Danae, but I like she still has a point in like,
how do I hold myself accountable to be there and support you as you go through things? It has nothing to do with like my feeling, like me needing to be the one. If I know that you're getting the help with your bro, we don't got no problem. I know that it's getting done, but there are times when it's not getting done, and there are also a lot of times, in our community where it takes us to get the ball rolling sometimes. How do I do that, one, without the overstepping, but also making sure that you guys are getting the support that you need?
So I think the answer is very simple. And the idea of, and the fact that you just have to make sure that you're creating a safe spot for the black man that you're trying to support, you know? So whether it is someone who you have in a platonic relationship or in a intimate relationship, are they comfortable enough to do that? And then you have to also say, what can I do? Because some black men, it takes us a time to digest what just happened, what occurred, you know? So what you could do is, you know, say y'all live together, you know, light the candles around, make dinner, babe, let's sit down and talk. Like, you know, like make the space something where he feels like I can talk and I won't be judged. I can talk and figure out my thoughts with you. Because you can do that on a platonic level and an intimate level. If I'm hanging out with my friends and we're all in, let's say, the classroom talking, right? Boom. And I feel like, yo, Jason, oh, they're not here, I'm sorry. If I say, hey, shout Mr. Williams, shout out Jason. Mr. Wilson. If I say Miss Luke, like, you know, this this stressed me out today. This is what got me tight. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of creating that safe space. As long as a person feels like they're comfortable to open up to you, they will, you know?
Question for you guys that are here. What does the safe space look like for you?
Oh,
right?
It's a glove. It's a different for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
for you. Like,
for
because
me.
I know some people, they would like it to be like a one-on-one, or they like to be in a group setting where they feel like social and, you know, relaxed a little bit. Or if it's one-on-one, you feel more comfortable with speaking to that one person by themselves. Is it going out? Is it inside? Like, what is that? Is it somebody that's not always nagging, or is it somebody that you know that? Because I know some people don't like to open up to people that they know that they have stuff going on. So you want to keep. I don't want to add more to you. I don't want to unload on you. Like, what does that safe space look like? What does that ideal person look like to you? Is it like, what does that look like?
No, because I feel like I'm the type of person where, like, once we figured my stuff out, like, I mean, not to say mine is first, but I like to make it mutual. Like, you know, like,
you don't want to be a one-way
it don't gotta be,
thing.
dang, babe, let me check in. All right, what's going on with y'all, though? Like, what's going on with you, my love? Or, you know, what's going on, gang? Like, let's check in, because essentially, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of, I forgot what the original question was.
What does the safe space look like?
Oh, yes. It's just a matter of, you know, making sure that your friends make you comfortable, and making sure that, you know, that you feel comfortable. And you could be 100% yourself and honest. That's a huge thing. A lot of people don't open up because, again, I'm not going to open up with a whole group in a social setting, because if I don't know you, you don't need to know this side of me. You know what I mean? But if it's my small 4 group of friends, 6 friends, then that's gang. We know David is, all right, David's quiet today. Let's leave him alone. We'll ask him in the private time. You know what I mean? That's my comfort zone. With my partner, I kind of want you to mind read a little bit and just be like, you know, you're not singing right now. What's going on, babe?
No, pause. I understand that mind reading though. I want to clarify his mind reading, and then I will jump to you. No, you don't like that. But mind reading means reading my body language, because I normally don't do this. But today I'm this. You should know the person.
Please notice I'm off.
I'm off. Because you know when that one person says, "Are you okay?" And you should know.
The tears just.
It's happening.
It needs that.
Happening.
But okay, so that's not even what I'm talking about. I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Because you're just an idiot. Like, I'm sorry. If you know your friends and you know how your friends are and they're acting differently and you think nothing in the world is wrong, I'm sorry. I said it. You're an idiot.
Fact.
What I'm talking about is.
Or that's not your friend.
That's not your friend. I think that's a.
You don't have an idiot, but that's not your friend. You can be both. They don't care. And they will you're an idiot.
I'm gonna do
I'm with it though. I agree.
My issue with the mind reading is, okay, I'm gonna say both sides because I know both sides. So my issue with the mind reading is you have now seen that my body language is off. Okay, we got there. We've all seen that. That's fine. It's more so when I ask you, are you okay? And you say you're fine or you're not fine, and you want me to know what's actually wrong with you, or you want me to know how to respond to you every single time. That's my thing, because we all, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, Ashley and I had a conversation a couple months ago, and I was like, you should have known, and she was like, I didn't know that's what you needed, and I was like, well, that's what I needed, right? But in the grand scheme of life, if she never asked me what's wrong, and not that she always has to, because I can always take it upon myself to just give that information, but if we don't get to the point where it's like, what's wrong, and then you actually are willing to tell me what's wrong, or willing to tell me that right now I can't, but we'll talk about this later, that's where the issue with me and the mind reading comes into play, because it's like, how do you expect me to respond or to react to something that I don't know about? And it's okay if you're not ready to talk about it, but you can't now be upset with me for not doing, because I feel like that's where the issue usually comes. It's like, you've never given me what I needed. Have you ever told me what you needed? Well, you should just know. Yes, to a certain extent, it can be natural, and you would like it to be natural. But when it comes to heavy hitter topics like this, like internalized trauma that we've all been dealing with from the time we were younger, or also as we continue to grow and evolve as people, what I may have needed when we first met I hopefully am not the same version of me that I am when you first met me. So there should be points along the way when it's just like, okay, what's happening? You're not ready to talk about this? Okay, I'm here. But if I don't have those little bits and pieces, it can't just be Danae huffing and puffing today. She must be mad. Maybe she's not mad. Maybe there's so much other stuff happening. Are you okay? Honestly, I'm not. I am. Maybe I might spill it all to you. Maybe I'd be like, I don't want to right now. But that in itself, I will see and acknowledge the fact that, okay, you cared enough to see what's happening. Because I feel like for me, in the situations I've been in, few, but it's like, you don't get me. You don't know how to talk to me. You've never been there for me. Like, I don't have an issue with you going and talking to your bro, but if I asked you and you told me you're fine,
I'm taking that. Like,
so you're good, I'm good,
But
we're
it's also,
good.
but the thing is sometimes it's not about the question. It's also the setting. It could also be the tone. It could be the manner and like the authenticity of the question.
Okay, well, with me, I'm talking about with my friend.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So
I think so.
I don't
Okay.
ask strangers how they're doing.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like even the person you
with. It can even
with.
be your friend.
Yeah.
It could even be in that situation of your friend where it's like the setting, like you said, the setting is just not right for me to say how I feel.
And I don't think there's a problem with that, but I think that's when it comes to yes or no, or I can't right now, but maybe later.
No, I get that. No, I agree.
That's my
what should be
thing, because
communicated.
it's just
though.
like-
I agree.
So
Like, what do you want me to do with that?
I can speak on that. So from my personal experience, I feel like I got you. You can't be knocking this down, right? I ain't saying nothing. So from my personal experience, I feel like the thing that we're speaking on is like an emotional intelligence and like where is everybody at, right? Because sometimes we know, like I'm a person, you can like, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm in here, I'm happy, I'm chilling, y'all see me, and then you might catch me one day, damn, Malachi ain't even saying nothing, he just went walking by, I'm having a horrible day, like please don't talk to me, I'm moving by. And it's like, on those days is when I'm in those situations where I need that type of support. I need a person or a place where I can feel like I can be safe and vulnerable, but that's not something that I'm actively looking for. Like, I'll know I need it, but I'm not looking for it. And when the opportunity comes for me to have it, it's a self-sabotage. It's like the person comes and I've been waiting for somebody to ask me how I'm feeling all day. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. Are you sure you're all right? Yeah, I'm good. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not good. I know I'm not good. They know I'm not good.
Right.
But I'm not, I'm all right.
So you acknowledge, my fault to cut you off. So you acknowledge that you have that type of like, issue with yourself and like the sense of like self-sabotage.
Yeah, so for me, it was like a bit of like, I had to hold myself accountable. I had to really work with it. It took me a long time to get over that. Like, I'm still kind of working on it. It took a hot minute.
But I'm proud of the progress you've made, Black.
Thank you, brother.
That's a great thing you've
It
done.
ain't easy either.
It's what be holding us back, that
It really
emotional
is.
intelligence. It's crazy because we're not taught that from youth. No. We're taught logic is the way. There's no way we can process these. And why are you crying? You're a man, We're going to get to that.
So you know I'm crying. You just get my ass. That's what I'm crying. Damn it. But
Talk about
for real, like,
trauma.
so what it took for me was like, I used to find that in those instances where I'm pushing away the help that I know that I need, 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes later, I'm still feeling like shit. Time passes or whatever, I'm still feeling like shit. My fault. I've been letting it fly, right? All right, my fault. But what I found was that like, I was like, yo, bro, pushing it away is not getting you where you need to be. I'm like, because at the end of the day, what you need to do is talk about it. But I didn't feel like I could be all the way vulnerable because like, talking about my feelings is not something I have a lot of experience in. You know what I'm saying? So then when I got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm gonna open the door on it, floodgates is open. Now it's just when I'm like, hold up, am I supposed to do this every time?
Right.
And then for me, it just became like, all right, bro, if you're in, there's a balance to it. And if you are holding yourself accountable, having those conversations when you know you need it, even when you don't want to, it's like finishing off them last sets of push-ups. Like, nobody wants to do it, but brother, you got to do it. And that's the only thing, because I was at the point where nothing else was making me feel better.
That's
so
where
I'm
the
like,
intelligence
I gotta
part
try
comes
this.
in.
But it takes a really long time to get there, and it takes support, and it takes, because that's another thing. I'm getting support from my partner throughout the process, and what I found was like, for the first part, I'm teaching her that like, when I'm like this, don't talk to me. So then, when I'm getting upset and then she's not talking to me, I'm like, why is she not talking to me? Like, hold on. And then I'm like, hold up, bro. You kind of told her to do that. So I'm like, all right, take a couple steps back. Let's think about it. And then I'll start doing it the other way. Is being vulnerable easy? No, but it has made progress. And I think that at points, it's like, it's changed the trajectory of where things is going.
But I think the first step for you was that self-reflection and being self-aware that you are self-sabotaging.
Yes, but I would hope that people don't have to get to the point where I got to where I realized it, because I was at a point where I'm like,
but there's just
so much.
But here's the thing: there's too many people that are like that.
So I was gonna say that's the men that your other question refers to about the why is men not shit. That's because some men haven't learned to regulate their emotions or express their emotions. So how do they act out in the way that a child acts out? You know, they start making people, they say hurtful things to people that they don't mean. They start pushing away the people that are close to them. Like, you know, when a baby's crying and you get close to it, what do? They push you away, right? That's because essentially, like, let them act out, you know, but as a baby, you're taught, you know, well, I hope we try to teach our babies how to regulate that emotion. All right, you're hurt right now, take that second to breathe. Black men, it's none of that. It's quick to, you a man, what you crying for? Like, you know, as a man, there's no room for this type of emotion regulation because you got to wake up the next morning and get the job done as a man. And that puts a hammer in the back of all of us, you know? That's something that until we get to a level of being able to absolutely express our emotions is going to be a habit where black men are continuously going to hurt black women and black women are continuously going to hurt black men also. And that's because we haven't got to a point and we don't know how to navigate it because it hasn't been done before. For generations, if it wasn't slavery, you had people literally having families messed up. The whole family dynamic has been messed up for many other factors other than what the black man is being, you know, disposed of right now. But it's like we all trying to learn this all at the same time. So we gonna have that, you ain't shit. Cause I know there's a girl from years ago that be like, yo, David is, I know this man is talking on this podcast talking like this. Like there's no way he's trying to talk like this because he put me through hell. And I've apologized for that because that's just a young man that was hurting. I didn't know how to express these emotions. I didn't know how to regulate how I move or how I act. I didn't know. And now, like, I'm as a huge like person who loves black women, it hurts me the fact that I was ever there. But you can't show somebody the world if all they've seen is the house. You know what I mean? Like, don't gas me. Don't gas me. Not too much. Not too much. Where's my drink at? That's a fact? No, sorry. Yeah, I am. This is me on 10, don't forget.
Well, damn.
Nah, but like, to even from a perspective, so from my perspective, I'm a person, so like even going back to like the community thing, it's like, so I feel like me as like a, you know, in the educational field, I'm a part of so many children's communities.
1 second, are we all educational brothers?
I think yo, honestly, they need us.
So
they need us.
Important.
So it's just a matter of like just being, so for me being in so many people's communities, so I'm a person where it's like I can be going through something and you won't know. So it's like I'm opposite. Like something bothering me gets put to the side and my expression, me, for the people that do know me, I'm always laughing. I always got a joke. I'm always clowning. Like I'm a big kid. But it's like I've been through some of my toughest days and put on some of like showed out and been there for put a smile on people's face, like, you know, like for like the Christmas break. I'm going to brag a little about it. Like our students, they wrote like gratitude letters, and I have a folder this big of gratitude letters. And it's just like, yo, y'all don't even understand. It's like all I do is really like make y'all laugh. And, you know, I teach y'all in the same, but I make y'all laugh. I make y'all enjoy being around me.
Right.
School is about networking, but why is it only networking when you're in college, not when you're, 5? Not networking, you're not gonna get no job from me, but you're building a connection with a teacher that is like, yo, when I get older, I'm gonna follow them on Instagram. I have like a gym teacher that is like, he was really just my gym teacher. And to this day, I still keep in contact with him, still talk to him about just life, because we used to just chop it up, play one-on-one, and through those one-on-ones like basketball, we used to just talk. And it was just that was the safe space. A basketball court for me is a safe space. So I got somebody that cared in my safe space. So it was just like, he's a part of my community forever. And it's like, you want to know what's crazy? It's a guy, like, it wasn't even another black man. Because this is why I'm also very adamant about like working with kids, staying in that field, because imagine his help and his like care really helped me. But imagine it was from another black man playing one-on-one with me in my safe space, asking me, am I good? It's just a matter of like, yo, sometimes it just needs those points that have to all hit sometimes for you to be like, nah, I'm comfortable. Nah, I could be vulnerable. So it's like it's not always in the sense of like, oh, we don't want to open up or don't want to be vulnerable. It's like you're the right person, wrong area. Right area, wrong person. So it's like you're gonna give me to open up when I find that person. Not everybody is gonna be your person. No matter, even the person that's standing in front of you at the moment will not be that person. Some people like from your past might be that person and you didn't know that or they didn't know that.
Sometimes you just got to reach a point in your relationship with any person. Where it's like, now I'm at a point where like, I can be vulnerable with you.
It really just takes time.
I just don't think people have patience to wait for that time for you to get to that point.
Yeah, right. In the waiting for your person, because I also have questions like, do you really need another person for you to self-regulate or to regulate your feelings or to express your feelings? Like for me, I use a journal. So like in the point of waiting, do we need? I don't know. I don't think there is a need for another person sometimes.
I think it has to be a healthy mix of all of it.
Yeah, I would say I think it's important to have people around you that you know can support you outside of a journal because, of course, your journal is great and your journal is beautiful, but your journal is only you. It cannot talk to you. It cannot agree with you. It can't give you support in a sense of
agree or disagree,
I'm here or disagree with you. Right? Like I'm here for you. I can help you do this. But my question was going to be, what are you doing to actively seek out and find people that can help you if you don't have those people in your life? So in our previous episode, we spoke about setting our goals and like making sure that we do our part to get to where we need to be. And of course, it'll always be great if the cards align and everything falls beautifully, but if you have now acknowledged that you're in a space where you don't have people that you feel open and comfortable with, what are you doing to fix that? Are you going to find a new space? Are you going to therapy to find like how are you doing what you need to do to get where you need to be for yourself? Because at the end of the day, it's about you and making sure that you are where you need to be.
Has to be there's levels to this, you know what I mean? It has to be, I know what this is. All right, now how can I combat it? You know what I mean? It took me a second to get from okay, I'm mad, what am I mad about? All right, now let me go write in my journal, let me go talk to so-and-so. So it literally depends on which step of what stage of this healing process, of this unlearning process did you walk in on this black man. And that's important for you to also decipher before you start talking with a partner. Evaluate where they are emotionally. Because if you are at a person who knows you're not taking no crap, you as a grown woman, there's no reason why I asked you, are you okay? And you said no, and then got mad because I didn't come back and ask you a second time. You have to have a partner that you know is communicative, that can talk back to you and say, okay, Danae, I hear you. Thank you for checking in on me, baby, but right now, I'm stressed. Don't talk to me right now. That's calm. We can walk away with that, right? Because, again, you don't want the partner that's giving you a cold shoulder. Who wants a partner like that? No one. Then it's not a safe space for anyone, because then you're not comfortable enough to come talk to him when you're mad. You know what I mean? It just depends on which level you meet this man at.
I guess sorry, you wanted to talk. Go ahead.
I'll jump in. You said a key word, unlearn, right? A lot of it is unlearning. We have these traditions. We have this ideology, right, that's been passed down and taught for. Remember, we're getting this from people who have just been, their objective has just been to survive.
Yes, it
They
has.
have not been living, right? They're surviving and they're teaching their survival tactics to me. So when my father's telling me all these things about how never let nobody see you sad, never let nobody know that what they said bothered you, keep a straight face, keep a good face. When you're walking around, puff your chest up, look regular so nobody messes with you, right? All those things that I'm hearing since I'm a kid. When I'm now 22, 23 years old, walking around and something's bothering me, people see me all the time on the street, it's crazy. They look at me and be like, are you mad? And I'm like, nah, bro, it's just my walking face. Like, it's like, I'm trying to, and this is just how I've learned to protect myself walking around. So then when I try to get vulnerable, especially with the people who I love, like I'm sitting in the room, I could be in the room with my friends, he's been the bro since elementary school, middle school, and I'm finding that, damn, bro, why? I see other people who are vulnerable to a certain level with their friends. How come we not there at that point in my relationship? And then it's becoming a realization that that's because I'm not putting forward the work. If I'm not showing them that I want to be vulnerable in this space, how can I expect that from them? But then once that curtain was peeled back, I learned like it made us so much closer just being able to be vulnerable with one another. But it's like everybody has to arrive at that point together in order for that to even be a possibility. And sometimes it's really hard to just even, some people see you and they be like, oh, he's wilding over there, he don't got it together, listen, I don't got time for that. And it's like, okay, I can respect that. If that's not if it's not in the cards for you, it's not in the cards for you. But then also, if you want to, there's people that's like, I want to help you. It's like, are you sure you're ready to take on this challenge? It's like, because if you are, they're going to need your support once you sign up for it, but it's going to be a lot of work. So make sure you know what you're signing up for, right? And it's like that type of thing, I feel like that's where like a lot of the reflection could come into it beforehand, where it's like, and when you were speaking about journaling and things like that, I feel like that has to become regular. You know what I'm saying? Like self-reflection has to be regular when you're speaking with, because also what you're writing in your journal is coming from just this point of view. Somebody else might be looking at it and be like, I see what you did there, but did you think about it like this? And next thing it shifts your whole perspective. So that's why I'm like, you got to do both. You got to write for yourself and think, and also find people who you can share those thoughts with, right? Because I ain't letting nobody read my journal. But if we're going to have a conversation about it, then maybe I'll tell you what I wrote on page 4. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that.
That's why, that's strongly why I feel that I think the answer to this is therapy. Just, I know it's hard because not a lot of people can afford that mental health thing. It's so benign, and thank God for my insurance, but it's not on everybody's insurance. And it's sad because that's something that should be acceptable. We do have resources for free therapy though, if y'all need that, especially for black men. But yeah, because essentially also a therapist can help you with that. They went to school for that type of stuff. Like you'll slowly, I strongly recommend that black men get black male therapists and black women get black women therapists. Not for no separatist reasons, but it's important that we see our reflections in who we're talking to. Right, so exactly. I feel like, therapy is the answer to this because we don't want to put that strain on our relationships. Your relationship should be a safe space at all costs. You know what I mean? Like I can talk to my emotions about you. I can do this stuff with you, but I also have this therapist who's not going to be biased. You want what's best for me. My therapist will tell me from all points of views. All right, yeah, that'd be best for you, but how is this affecting, your family, the people that you do care about? What are you doing? All right, here's some active steps. All right, David, read some bell hooks. All right, do this. You know what I mean? Because then you're learning and you're taking better, actions to better yourself. But the sad part about it, because I blame the white man for everything, but they have not made therapy. It should be like health insurance. It should be for everyone. Like everybody should have it. I strongly recommend, especially if you have a Caribbean family, therapy. Especially if you're a first generation, therapy. Because this is, it's hard to navigate this mofo. It's so hard. Between the conservative ideas that our parents have, and that's not just in politics, that's in emotions, that's how you carry yourself, whether it's how you dress, whether how you choose to express yourself as a man or as what they consider a black woman or how a woman should act, These are things that we have to unlearn and, teach it to the next generation. But it's very stressful because we have to put that pressure on ourselves, We have to watch a 46-year-old or an 80-year-old or however old your parents may be because essentially they don't know how to navigate this new world either. Like this world is seriously ours for the taking, which it is, but we have to learn how to navigate it, whether it's knowing what to censor on your social media, saying that algorithm is wrong, let's get rid of that. You know what I mean? What happened to the days when I just saw who posted at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock? Now there's more people, more ads, and people I don't follow on my TL. Like, who made that? And then what that does is that spills onto the mental health because who are the people that you're seeing? Now you're seeing Justin the boy tell you that your boyfriend ain't shit when they're doing this, that. You got niggas be broke okay telling you that your girl's boy best friend is doing the nasty. And it's like, now you got trust issues. You don't realize it because it's so quick. You said earlier, you just scroll on it. And you just scroll. You might every time. That reminds me of my toxic days. That's funny. Let me hear that. Yeah, and then boom. And now the algorithm's working. I'm telling you, I'm about to sound like a conspiracy theorist. But there's so many factors that play into our mental health. We're being attacked by so many different forces. Like, you don't understand, especially for black men, because super heavy for black women. It's worse for black women. Don't forget that. But for black men, it's tough because now we have to navigate this, and we got to make sure we stand by our black women when we do so. The last generation, I've seen it firsthand where they kind of put black women on the back burner for making sure that black men got to where they were supposed to. And yes, it gave us steps, but it held us back in a huger aspect because black women, if not, are more or way more deserving of the stuff that we get and deserve way more than that, in my opinion. It's just.
Would you like to drink to that?
Yeah.
I actually said drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
The way he was just going off, it felt like preach y'all.
Oh my God.
I felt like I felt every single thing in my spirit, and that was off the dome, bro.
dropping gems, and I felt every single word.
Yeah.
Please don't show this to my grandma.
I think let's
Oh, your grandma's getting a direct file.
let's not negate the process of unlearning and how hard it is because of how difficult it is to forget a crucial part of like how you've grown or how you were raised or like things you were taught. Unlearning those things and then going into the unknown and trying to figure out where you stand on certain things is a terrifying process. So like how do you navigate the place between your comfort zone and what you know and then going into the newer stuff that you're trying to learn and trying to unlearn and like figuring that part out? Like what has that unlearning process been?
I think that unlearning process has been a lot of mistakes. I think it took a lot of mistakes for me to understand where I want to be in like certain aspects of being more vulnerable, being more open, being more receptive to love. It's like I don't think I was in a household where love wasn't a common thing, but I built this type of independence with myself and independence in just like my upbringing where it's like being able to be loved by somebody is like like foreign to me. And it's like to a point where it's like I got so comfortable in my ways where it's in a way of, okay, you trying to give me love, but now I have to break down, is it genuine? How consistent you gonna be? How consistent am I gonna be? It's like, because accepting love is a job in itself.
Yes, it is.
It's not in a sense of like, oh, somebody's just gonna love on you and you just gonna just shower on you.
Like, no.
You gotta learn how to take it because people can be loving you in the ways that you need and don't even know. Because we go after a lot of things we want, but don't prioritize our needs. Correct. So you prioritize the type of love you want, but you don't prioritize the love you need.
Ooh.
So it's like when is it like when you say unlearning things, I have to unlearn some of the ways I was taught even now.
Definitely.
Because it's like I've been put in a situation where me really understanding what I need made me a more selfish person. And I think it's like been a blessing in disguise. Telling people no. Telling people I can't.
Got me a pepper.
I was a blessing. Honestly, because put it like so like I've been a person.
Repeat that for the audience in the back. What is it again? What'd you say?
It was like I had to put myself in a situation where I had to be comfortable being selfish.
And telling people
no, telling people I can't, I don't got it, I can't be there.
Right,
because like, but it's like, it's in a sense of like, I've always been that person. I've always been the opposite. I've always been somebody else's therapist. Like I've had people I met day one, and by day two I know they like me. But it's like that's the type of aura I bring, type of person I am, and I'm not trying to tell myself not to be that.
He does do that.
But it's just in a matter of like,
my dad's not in my life.
It's just like, yo, when am I gonna stop being that person for everyone? Stop being that therapist for everyone. I was like, yo, I'm getting paid to do it at a job. This shit ain't free. I can't do it no more. Like my knowledge, my wisdom, whoever believes like in what I'm saying and like what I'm really preaching, it doesn't come without a cost, money and personally.
Yeah.
So
it drains you at some point. Too.
It does.
You're carrying a lot of baggage, especially because I feel like you're an empath, where you feel like you like put yourself in people's shoes and try to understand it. That's emotional, like mentally exhausting to carry, and you like. Knowing you do that a lot, so it's like see. Sorry, Dre.
Sorry.
So it's like a difficult process. What about the rest of you?
You
Even the girls too. I was
gonna say in the same breath of saying that you have to unlearn certain things, you also have to be actively learning good things. Because I feel like even when we're unlearning what we've been taught by our parents, we also, like you said, learn like being drilled into our heads the toxic things of Instagram. So this is what's being pushed on us. We have to be actively searching the good things to learn from. And in your unlearning, if you want to go next, how are you actively looking for good representations of what you want to be?
What's it called? You brought a very valid point, and this is what me and my therapist worked on in my personal like unlearning journey. Two points. Okay, the first one was just that there's some shit that you dead ass have to do, and there's shit that you dead ass do not have to do. Like as a black man, there's a lot of like pressure placed on us to do certain things, like, and not just from like the outside community, like our own community. Like, black man, you shouldn't have to do this. Black man, you're not doing this. A black man doesn't do da 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 da. And it's like, I don't got to do none of that shit. I don't have to do anything that you force me to do, any of your beliefs, anything that you feel like you want me to do. That's not my character, you know what I mean? And then the second thing is boundaries are so damn important. Oof. Like, you know, I think from where I was raised, seeing how I was raised, boundaries wasn't existent. I was raised by a single mother, so there was a lot of enmeshment, a lot of...
Shout out Andrea.
Yeah, shout out to too. A lot of, I said her name, shout out to Mama Dukes. What's it called? It was a lot of, how do I say it? Like, my mom was talking to me like I was her friend more times than I was her son. And I think that that's a trauma that I had to learn, because when I first felt like this in high school, it was an anger of like, you know, like, why do I have to be the one to deal with this? Like, nobody else's mother is venting to them about the stresses of life. Nobody else's mother is doing that. I have another older brother and he's not getting this stress, you know what I mean? But I kind of was able to flip it into a heavy is the head that wears the crown, but that's a trauma response, that another thing that black men have to feel. Like, I have to go through this. When, what did I just say? You dead ass don't have to. And it's tough, because how do you tell your mother, your single mother that's put her life on the line, her retirement, all that stuff for you to go to college, to say, I don't want to talk about this right now. I don't feel comfortable hearing this. I don't. And that's the stuff, that's the real like trauma that forces me, that makes me uncomfortable. That's that line of like, damn, I know I have to do this though, because I want my kids, I can't have her being a grandmother and doing the same to my grandkids, venting to my kids about me or about my grandmother, or et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Because we've all held that. I'm pretty sure y'all parents talk to y'all about each other's parents, or about another's aunt, grandma, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, that's not my place. My job was just to be a child. My job was just to learn this, navigate, and be navigated by you, not to navigate with you. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And that's something that it took me a second to pivot my thought process on it, because it's like there was a how could you aspect of it, of like, damn mom, like this sucks, because as a black man now, I'm being pushed into this atmosphere where I'm not being babied by my mother now. My mom is not cradling me and holding me. So now I have to learn how to do these things. And that caused resentment. Like, damn, like I wasn't taught this, you know? But I also had to give grace, because our parents do what they can. You know what I mean? I know it doesn't seem like it, but they're only doing what they know. They're doing the best that they can. It may not seem like it, but we have to give them that grace, because just as literally 50 years ago, this world wasn't the same that they had. No phones, the cars were slow as hell. My mom said when she first started working, it was $3.25, like her first paycheck was how much she was getting an hour. Excuse me? That's crazy. So it's like, you just gotta have a sense of grace with your parents, with yourself, and with like life and situations. But yes, that's that line. Just learning boundaries and grace.
Grace.
It's right there.
And talking about the unlearning though, I feel like,
are we drinking?
We've been drinking the whole
we're talking about when you're in a situation and you feel like something is wrong or not the way you want it to be, so therefore you go on the journey of actually seeking out things to unlearn. But I also feel like we have to just make sure that we're mindful that we may feel like something is right, but you still have to be open to checking and verifying that that is the right way to go about something, and then be open to unlearning those things as well. Because I feel like a lot of times things that feel good to us, it becomes that's just how we are, or that's just the way it's tradition, right? But it can be tradition, or it could just be your personality type. But no, it's actually not your personality type. That is a terrible trait. Somebody else has called you out on it, and you now have to still be as willing and open to go through that process and unlearn it. So I just wanted to make that point as well, because we're talking about, this didn't feel right. This made me upset. It made me angry. I was in a situation with somebody where it caused stress and turmoil. So I was like, oh, let me go check it out. But no, you can also be very good and very comfortable in your way about something, and you still have to go through that process of looking into other things. An example I have that has nothing to do with emotions is I'm Christian. I think we say that all the time on the podcast. We talk about our religion. I was in 6th grade and we got a new principal, and our religion class, we did not talk about Christianity at all. And I went to a Catholic school. We spoke about every other religion. And the one thing he always told me is you can never know what you believe, or you can never be sure that what you want or you think is right until you actively take part in looking into other things. So I just want to make sure that we're speaking about that as well as everything else when we talk.
I can pivot on that when you go.
I was like, in addition to like calling things that you think is right, calling those things out, I feel like it's also, you know, like you said, it's not always your job too, but amongst your black men and amongst your community, to call out behaviors that are not progressive of the
becoming of the black man.
Yeah, like you should and in the same breath of you being comfortable to express your feelings, you should be also comfortable to call out your friend. Yeah, call out bullshit and be like, you know what, this
easy.
Nigga, you
I feel like that's also an important part too.
But you know, like even to that, like going back to like the friend's perspective, like I feel like I can't say I don't have successful relationships, and I say it in a sense of if with my friends, and when I use that friend word, it's like as I get older, that friend word becomes very scarce.
Yep.
Because one, they become family, and two is like not everybody can be your friend. But it's in a matter of don't touch me. But it's in a matter of like with my friends, I've heard it from a perspective of like, you know, one of my women friends that was telling me like, oh, boys don't be talking about shit. I said, yo, come and sit and be in our like environment while we talk. And they got a perspective of how we were, how we speak to each other, how we just like navigate through so many different topics. Girls and basketball is not the top topics. Basketball is probably number 2. Life is number 1. Girls is number 3. But girls is number 3 is not a matter of like, oh, he's telling me how bad she is. No, it's in a matter of like, yo, I'm gonna be honest, like what I told my friend, he's here, and what I told him, I said, yo, do not mess with this girl. But I meant it in a sense of don't mess up this girl. Don't bother this girl if you're not ready. Don't commit to something if you're not ready. Don't do anything to hurt this girl. And it's a matter of like, I'm thinking like I'm supposed to be supporting him, and I am. But that support that I'm giving him also needs to be like shown to the girl. Like, yeah, I'm loyal to him. He's my like that's my guy. But you that's what I'm saying. You get to a situation that God forbid he does something wrong to her. How am I supposed to defend you as my friend?
Right.
Because I don't agree. So it's just a matter of like we hold each other to a very high standard. So it's not a matter of like, oh, we have to, tend to each of our like emotions. It's just a matter of like, yo, I set this standard because like, yo, these are the people I want around me. If you could continue to be this type of person that I want around me, you will always have me by your side.
Facts.
And it's never shifted. That's why my friends are my friends. That's like those are my people. Like because friendship, like with me, is like, I take very serious. Like that's like something, and I preach it to women also. I say, women need each other. Y'all need those friendships. I'm tired of hearing about people getting cut off. People praise that they take out trash instead of like bringing in like blessings into their space. Like I've never heard people really talk about like, yo, I brought these amount of people with me and we're doing this. It's always, oh, I cut her off, I cut him off because I'm bettering myself.
It says more about the person themselves than the other people.
Yo, I say you a common denominator. I tell you straight up, you a common denominator.
That's the thing, and like it's so upsetting that like it's so much harder for women to come together as like in healthy friendships and like talk about things, be vulnerable with each other. It is so difficult to do that.
Why?
Because we're so judgmental to each other.
That's the thing.
The same, but see, like thank God for my friendships. We're not like that. But like I sometimes envy men because they can be those type of like shoulders to lean on with each other
very easily.
Much easier, and y'all don't care. Y'all are like, go ahead.
Bye.
Yeah.
I want to cut in. Right?
Go ahead.
That's not always typically the case, right? Because I think that there is a degree of like good that comes from being very specific about the people that you surround yourself with. And like for a lot of people, or a lot of like relationships that I'll see between a lot of men, right? Not my friend group in particular, but like I'll see people that are like cool because they don't ever get to the meat and the potatoes. They just chill on the surface. When we start to get into talking about, you start to find out, yo bro, those are your beliefs? I didn't know that. We've been chilling for 8 months. God, I didn't know you. You know what? It is kind of funny every time you talk about women. You don't call them women. You just use the B word. You know what? That's kind of weird. When you don't get to that level, it's easy to just form surface level relationships with people when we can just talk about things that don't get into the specifics. But once you do, is when then that accountability starts to come to play. So when you had asked about like what my process was of trying to unlearn and relearn, it's been for me redefining masculinity and not letting somebody else tell me what the definition for that is, but a process for me to figure it out on my own. Because what I'm seeing and what I've learned, I'm looking and I'm like, I'm seeing things that family members and generations is happening, and I'm like, if I keep doing that, there ain't no way that's going to turn out the way I need it to.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go with that.
Right.
And what I'm hearing over here, I don't really trust that source. And I was actually thinking about this earlier. I was the type of person in the math and the English class, not before like 11th and 12th grade when I stopped really caring, but like I never really used to cheat. My whole thing was like, if I don't know the answer to this question and I'm paying attention, struggling, I might expect homie next to me to know the answer to the same question I'm struggling on. If I'm going to get it wrong, I want to try to get it right and get it wrong, as opposed to I'm going to take your answer and now we both wrong.
Exactly.
Like, that's always been my approach to it. So like, for me, it's been redefining masculinity, and in there, it's a process of trying to figure out what type of man is it that I look up to and that I want to be. And in there, it's been helping me just, with that attitude, it kind of is, it becomes like, you know, like your friends, your people around you, they pick up to it. And either they with it, they trying to learn and grow, or they're going to tell you straight out, I ain't with that. And if you ain't with that, the door's over there, bro.
Thanks, B.
Man, tell me I'm wrong, because I'm going to tell you. And it's just like, I care too much about you to let you go down a lane where I think you're wrong.
I ain't gonna leave you.
Prove to me that you're right. But if I think you're wrong, I'm gonna say it to you. But it's also a matter of the tone. But it's like like I said, we don't have to really tend to like our friends' emotions as much as, you know, it may be for women. But it's in a sense of some tones are needed.
Yeah.
Like some settings are needed to talk to, like to have those type of talks. So it's really just about that, like learning those cues. I feel like when it is like being that person for a woman, it's a little harder because like, one, I have to make you feel comfortable enough to know that I'm not judging you. Like I say it all the time, like, yo, I'm not judging you. This is a safe space. You will not get a judgment from me because I don't try to act perfect and I don't want you to try to act perfect. But it's just a matter of like, when it comes to like my friends, they know, like no matter the setting, I mean, but we build that rapport no matter the setting, no matter like how I may even say it, it's all coming as care. It all comes from love, from the heart. Like I would never steer you wrong. Put it like that. So you can always take my advice if you need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we're dwindling down, we've gone through like how you express yourself, what's your ideal safe space. What is like everyone's lasting words to anybody watching?
Like specifically a person?
Like, what is your gem? What is your gem? Just drop your last gem.
My gem? Oof. Do I have to go first?
No, you don't have to go first.
You also don't have to go at all.
Yeah, you don't have to go at all.
Y'all said a lot of gems.
There was,
There was a
but
lot
I feel
of,
like
there was a lot of gems.
last nuggets.
I
You want to
mean,
give?
I think my gem would be like, for the men that build all these muscles and like get as strong as they can, we still need gentle care for everything, for our bodies, for our mind, our mindsets. We gotta have a gentle like
Approach.
vibe, gentle approach. Like it don't matter how tough that person is, you'll get further when you actually like genuinely are gentle with somebody.
So that leads into segue into one of my gems. Grace. Give niggas grace. Give you don't know what people is going through.
Exactly.
Give
At
yourself grace because you've come this far, black man or black woman, whoever is out there listening right now. Like, give yourself grace. Give those around you grace. There's nothing worth getting riled up about. Yes, things might get you tight, but people are here today and gone tomorrow. Like,
Facts.
it's so scary. Like, I didn't want to say nothing earlier about the death of the earlier, people that passed away, but for me, it's a point where it's like, we gonna have to get used to death because whether it's a black man or someone, it be around the corner and it's scary. It's so scary. Like you should use it as a way of saying like, say you love people, let them know while they're here that this is what it is. I've learned to give my grandparents grace because she's not gonna be here as long as I want them to be. If you still have your grandparents, your mother, call them. They may be annoying. Listen to that voice because it's going to be gone. Friends. It's scary how many friends I've lost since college from car accidents, from randomness. And it's scary. You never know when it's the last. Sorry. Love on the people around you. Give each other grace. And there's shit that you dead ass have to do. And there's shit that you dead ass do not have to do. Remember that. I'm done.
Man, how do I follow up after that?
I'm sorry.
You know what I got? I got this one for you.
All right. Poet.
the brain is like a sponge, right? Be careful what you're soaking up.
Right.
Ooh. Keep it stacked. I'm gonna go from the music vantage point, right? Ooh. The amount of times I heard a song where I heard a line and I'm like, that's the one. I can fuck with you because you speaking to me, right?
Right.
What I feed myself, what I'm listening to, really does actively impact my mood.
Right.
So if you're in a really terrible mood, maybe you should switch up the vibrations that's coming from what it is that you're feeding your mind, because it really does make an impact. So like, if you find yourself to be in a rut and the things that you're doing right now ain't working, switch it up. Be careful what you feed yourself. Change your diet a little bit and see how that makes you feel, and keep trying to figure it out until you can get right. You know what I'm saying?
You need old school playlists.
I just want to say one thing. Across all of the things you guys have said is work and effort. You have to keep working toward things. You have to keep putting effort towards things. I think as a generation, we just get so lazy to do things and to be better people, and that's why we are where we are. You have to, literally everything you guys keep saying, keep learning, that's work, that's effort, that's getting up in the morning and saying, I want to do this, I need to do this. So it's mentally like getting to a point of motivation, and then it's exhausting, but it still takes work to do that. And people just need to remember that it's not easy. Good things don't come easy, or else we'd all be fine and dandy and be going wherever. So work, effort.
And you don't gotta work every day. We cannot forget that.
Yes,
it's okay
obviously.
to just
Mental health days.
Take
a
day.
I don't.
Take a day.
We're not saying 365. That's stressful.
PTO.
Come on now. Go on vacation, no matter the season.
Call out that day, man. You ain't feeling it? Call out, homie.
I do it.
Call out
Replace them.
any job. I kid you not.
Now Rian said replace them.
Replace them?
Thanks.
Don't let the job replace you.
Okay, so we're gonna end now. Thank you guys for coming on the episode with us.
I love the job.
Follow me.
Of course.
I sing and dance.
Our quote for this episode is, Black men, you are the thread that weaves through the fabric of our existence. As the head, it is your guidance, love, strength, and sacrifice from which we thrive. And it's written by somebody named Nikki. So good job, Nikki.
Nikki.
Thank you guys for coming on the show
Yes.
Thank you for having
and
me.
being vulnerable and
great.
dropping your gems. We love it.
Please have me back for the reunion episode.
I want to
The
come
live
back.
tweets.
See where we are.
I'll come wearing green next time too.
Progress.
Or some
And
black.
if you didn't already, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Leave us a comment down below if you found some gems interesting. And we'll see y'all in the next one.
And don't forget the shirts in the black hat.
Hey, y'all ain't been liking these posts enough. I'm on y'all. Y'all need to hit the like. I'm seeing the views and y'all not hitting the likes. We're not having that, all right?
We'll wait. Do it right now. We'll wait.
Yeah, I like that. Wait.
You hit it, right?
Wait. Hey, yo. What? Yo. Excuse me? I'm sorry, we fighting the patriarchy.